and welcome to From Agenda to Action, a City of Ames podcast to help residents better understand decisions being made at Ames City Council meetings. I'm Susan Gwiasda with City Communications and Outreach. Today, we'll go over highlights and items discussed at the July 14th Ames City Council meeting. To help explain the meeting, I'm joined by Ames Mayor John Haila. So, Mayor, it was quite a meeting on Tuesday, July 14th. Maybe we should dive right into the big item of the day, which was a discussion about data centers.
Yeah, that definitely was the focus of the evening, and we appreciate the significant amount of individuals that showed up and continue to show interest in this particular item. We had, I think, close to 100, a little over 100 people in our council chambers and overflow area, and then there were like approximately 80 to 100 people down in the auditorium. We not only appreciate them coming out and showing interest, but the tremendous respect and attention they paid to what was being talked about, presented by staff.
Yeah, and the staff report did take some time.
Yes, it did, and staff consistently provides great detail, thorough investigation. While it did take quite a bit of time, it was very beneficial for council to fully understand the issues, and I think also to demonstrate that both staff and council has taken extremely seriously the feedback that we received, the input that we got from the community, not only via email, but also at the input session we had on June 30th.
So you heard a staff report on data centers, you got the memo from the city attorney, and then ultimately council made some decisions.
That's correct. The staff was recommending there was 4 specific action items that they recommended action be taken on regardless of whatever decision was made, and that would be to define what is a data center, because our current zoning ordinance does not have a definition that specifically includes data centers. And then talking about electric tariffs and the utilities chapter in our code. In addition, implementing authority for excess facility charges to be imposed on large water users or large users of our sanitary sewer system. The main point is that anything which is going to cause the city to have to increase the size either of the physical plant, the production, for example, of water, if we have to drill new wells, if we have to increase the size of the water treatment plant, or we have to increase the size of lines that serves a particular area or facility, then those would be borne by the causal new use or industry. And it may be data centers, it may be something else that comes in that would require a tremendous amount of additional capacity that we don't currently have.
Yeah, I think that really addresses this issue of some new entity coming in and passing on the cost then to ratepayers.
Correct, and that was one of the things that we consistently heard on the 30th. The community is concerned that if a large, for this case, electricity user comes to the community, would rates go up and they would have to pay those rates for the benefit of a private entity, i.e., a data center. Same would be true if a large company would come in and use significant amounts of water and cause our water rates to go up or our sanitary sewer rates to go up. There's a legitimate concern and pushback on socializing the costs to benefit one particular user. And so that is what 3 of these 4 items that were given direction to staff to proceed beginning work on is to address those concerns. And as mentioned in the preview and has been talked about a little bit previously, and that is council has been aware of it, but staff has been aware of this. And actually staff brought these items to council's attention, if not a month ago, maybe a couple months ago, saying these need to be looked at. And so it's been in the works. Now it's been given formal direction to staff to move forward with these changes.
Now, will this come back then July 28th?
Correct. The other part of the motion that was made was that there be a temporary delay on approving any sort of a data center in the city in terms of permits, master plans, site plans being issued. The length of time that the delay is yet to be determined. Council is asking staff to provide some estimates on how long it would take to answer a variety of questions. And I would anticipate there might be either a matrix or a menu of questions that topics, issues. Council's looking to staff to help them understand how long it would take to accomplish answering these questions in a thorough manner, similar to the way it was done on Tuesday night, and then use that as a benchmark against which to determine how long a temporary delay should be implemented. So instead of it being let's say a 12-month or a 6-month or whatever length of time, that would be somewhat arbitrary. Let's decide what needs to be answered, get some estimates on how long it's going to take to answer, do the research, and then maybe council will decide to round up a month or two and then to give some cushion and then set that as a specific timeline. And again, the purpose of this temporary delay is not just to forestall a decision, but to allow for adequate time to do further research, investigation, make changes to codes, ordinances that will govern and affect data centers potentially coming to the community.
So an issue that we're going to follow up with on later.
Correct. On the 28th, it's anticipated that council will establish not only a timeline for the temporary delay, but also what specifically they want staff to respond back to. And then over the coming months, we anticipate that we'll have from time to time topics on the agenda that will cover specific questions, issues, and ordinance changes.
Okay. Moving on to a little bit more concrete item.
Oh, boy.
Did you see what
pun.
I did there?
Yeah, I saw a nice pun.
We'll talk a little bit about the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center, staining on the precast panels on the outside. There has been a concern about the look of the outside of the facility.
That's correct. There is for lack of a better term, a modeling in appearance on the exterior precast concrete. The intent was to have a fairly uniform, homogeneous look to the coloring, and instead thereof, there are lighter and darker spots all over the surface. And so after significant conversation, work by staff, working with the architect, the construction manager, the manufacturer of the precast, the solution that was arrived at was to use a stain to make a more uniform appearance to the exterior, and also to shoot for the color that was desired initially for the color of the precast concrete. And a sample panel was done on the north side behind the equipment screen, so no one can see it right now if they drove by it. It was hidden intentionally because if the stain was not acceptable, then it wouldn't be visible to everybody else. But based on the pictures that were provided to council, staff recommendation to proceed, it was determined to continue to support staff's recommendation, that is to move forward with staining. So people can expect that maybe in the weeks or next few months that they would see some work going on to apply a solid color stain. And I believe it's going to further enhance the attractiveness and the aesthetics that exist there on our new indoor aquatic center.
Yeah, and those photos are available in the on the website, so you can look at them. I looked at them this afternoon, and they show what it will look like. So if you're curious, cityofames.org/cc meetings will get you to an archive of city council meetings, and you can get that information and look for yourself. So that really, those were sort of the big items. Anything else you'd like to mention?
There is a workshop that's scheduled for next week. There's no decisions being made. There's different topics. It has nothing to do with data centers. It has to do actually with our new power plant facility, which is equipment, some of the reports on equipment purchasers, and also some discussion regarding a Duff Avenue corridor study, which is being undertaken. Again, no decisions being made, but staff wanted to bring those to council and have some dedicated time to review and prep them for decisions that will be made in the near future.
Okay, so that workshop, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, June 21st.
Correct.
All right. This podcast is one of the ways the City of Ames is working to keep residents informed about what happens at City Council meetings. Thank you, Mayor Haila, for joining us to review the July 14th Ames City Council meeting. Our next regular council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th, and we'll be back both before and after that meeting to help you stay informed.
From Agenda to Action is a City of Ames podcast.